welcome to PetiteKnit. This is episode number 54. My name is Cider Robinson, and I live here in the US with my husband and our cute dog Effie that you might see in the videos every now and then. Today I was going to wear my jacket because it is very cold. I am going to wear this jacket throughout the day, but our house has the heating on and I'm in the attic. Heat rises, so this is the warmest room, but I will tell you about it nonetheless, just briefly. This is the Boho Mosaic cardigan, right? Boho style Mosaic cardigan by Irene Lynn. And I made this one with 100% wool and 100% sort of Portuguese. I say sort of because one of these yarns, the base is a Portuguese base, but then is dyed by Aimée. Okay, so and I love it. I love these yarns. I want to knit more with them, but I don't think I have more of these in my stash currently. So another time. All right, so the yarns. Most of these are Retrosaria Pegulhal, and that is this brown as well as this like caramelly brown. The red is the one that is also, it's a Rosa Pomares base, but it is dyed by Aimée. So this one is color 3 and 4, and this one the color is Lannister. It is no longer a number because it's Aimé's dye color. And this one is a natural, so it's number 1, and that is from a different Portuguese brand, and that is Rosários 4, and the base is Douro. I really like it. I made it with a bunch of just warm colors. Even the white is more creamy than actual white, and that's because most of the clothes I wear actually have brown, yellow, orange, red. Sometimes I have green, but that's more unusual. But I usually just wear warmer colors. I feel like they go with me better. Yeah, and this was it's called Mosaic because you do mosaic knitting. And I lost my patience while trying to do that. I wanted to knit this both to try that process, but also to I guess I like the project itself. I wanted the finished project. And I did 4 rows of mosaic knitting, which are actually 2 rows in real life. It's just 4 rows of work, but it's 2 rows. And that's because you do 1 color at a time. And I did not like it. It was way too slow for me. So then I just switched to stranded color work. And it worked sort of perfectly, sort of. I mean, the gauge was not perfect. There are no increases here. There's only a change in gauge. But I love this cardigan. I love it. It's probably the only project that I have with big sleeves like this that, even though sometimes they get stuck in places, I don't get incredibly annoyed by it. I loved the yarn so much. And it's a huge cardigan, but because it's not super wash, it's kind of pretty light. Plus it's 100% wool, so it's warm. It's open and big, so I can either put a bunch of layers under it or not, but I do have the option. And it is a good, like, not too cold, not too hot sort of day type of outerwear. But I'm going to take it off. I was actually starting to get cozy in it. And this is my most recent finished project. This is the Coryn sweater, Coryn. I left the link below. And I think last time I said it was either by someone named Victoria or Vladimira, but it's actually Valentina. It's a different name that starts with a V and ends with an A. And it's knitted top down. And if you look her up, you'll see most of her sweaters, instead of ribbing at the top, they have this like wavy sort of cast on, and they tend to always have something happening on the yoke, and then the rest is fairly basic. And I sort of followed more or less 40% of her pattern, sort of. What I followed, well, first I didn't swatch, but that didn't matter. I just picked the smallest size and I went for it. So you first do this yoke. For the yoke, I did 2 changes. One of them was accidental. The first change was I did not do the last bubble. This was supposed to be a group of 4 bubbles, just like below, but I ended up only doing 3. I totally forgot about the last one. Then, sorry, just talking. These sort of like zigzag things happen here, and they were supposed to happen, I think, here. But because I knew this was going to become more like plain, I guess, pattern, for the rest of the project, I wanted to transition from like super busy to a little less busy, and then just pearls everywhere. So I decided not to do that, even though it's pretty. Even though it is pretty, I wanted to just have a transition area. So I did that. Now this project, you can choose to knit or to sew knits or to sew pearls for the rest of the pattern. And I went with pearls. Now the issue with picking pearls is that if your gauge changes, even if just for 1 row, it is very noticeable. But with that yarn that I actually picked, which is a one-of-a-kind color that I picked because it was so pretty, and also because I had a lipstick that matched, I ended up, well, it ended up being a yarn that it says that it's fingering. It is fingering, but it also has some areas that are more lace weight and some areas that get very close to sports or DK. So you can still, even though my gauge might not have changed, you still see those lines where you can tell, especially where you can tell that the lace part is. And that is because it leaves what looks like some gaps. Like there. Yeah. But I don't mind it. I'd actually even like it more if it were happening more frequently to, I don't know. I think it would have made it, I think, even more different. And very, very much intentional. And then the other changes I did were, so when you get to that part, you get to pick how to end your chart so that you then follow up with either knitting or purling, or what it looks like knitting and purling. It actually ends up that you knit the whole time. It's just that you turn the fabric inside out and you knit from the inside if you want to sew pearls on the outside, and that is what I did. Yes. And then a change that I did there for the body was I just did some decreases on the side, and then I finished with broken ribbing with 3 rows of knit 1, purl 1, and then 4 rows of purl 1, knit 1, and then I repeated that. So it looks like this. It's kind of fun. It's very short, but kind of fun. And I did the same for the arm. For the sleeves, the pattern sleeves are longer. They're not long sleeves, but I think they are like 3/4. And I did not want that. I also did not think I had enough yarn. And I don't think I did. I might have had enough to maybe get down to my elbow, but I chose not to. So one thing that I did was At first, I started knitting just a tube without any shaping. And I put it on and I did not like it. So I took it back to 10 rows of knitting and I did 2 decreases, and then 5 rows, 2 decreases, 5 other rows, 2 decreases. So I went back to 10 rows and I did 2 decreases, and then 5 other rows, 2 decreases, 5 other rows, 2 decreases. And then I did the exact same ribbing that I did for the body. And that's it. It was not a hard project to follow. There was one time where the instructions of how to make a stitch, to me, my interpretation of those written instructions did not match what was in the chart, so I just followed the chart. I prefer following charts than following text, especially when it's like 3 lines of instructions, you know. And that's it. I really like it. I really like the yarn. I love the color. I really hope that Sylvia adds this colorway to her yarns. I love it. I'd make more things with it. And then I have 1 whip and 2 projects that I'm going to cast on. One of them you will see, one of them you will not. This one you will not see it finished because I'm going to give it to a coworker tomorrow. This is the worsted flax sweater by tincanknits. It comes from 0 to 6 months to, you know, adult sizes. And I'm making the 6 to 1 year old size. It has this little detail where you knit a bunch of pearls every other row. But other than that, it's a pretty basic top-down sweater. The instructions are very good. It was a pattern suggested to me when I was first starting to knit, and I had only knitted 1 project before. It was a pair of socks. But I think it does a good job of explaining where you are and what you're doing. What a yoke looks like when it's flat, that sort of thing. I still think that it is helpful to have someone that you can ask questions when you're knitting that pattern. I know I did. For example, how to join in around, that sort of thing. Just someone also to confirm that what you're doing is right. And I had that at my local yarn store at the time. This was pre-pandemic, almost, like it was like December 2019. So I definitely had that help. And yeah, I'm almost done, as you can see. I think I only have like maybe 10 more rows, including the ribbing. So I'll be done later today. The yarn I'm using is Knit Pig Swish, which is 100% superwash. Again, I mean, from a 6-month-old to a 1-year-old, I think at that point they're already like being messy a little bit. So it's not a bad idea. I don't love superwash for many reasons, from knitting to wearing, to just, you know, it's not better for the environment. I mean, it's better than acrylic, but not better than wool, and I like wool. But it's for someone that I don't know. It's for someone that I don't know if they pay much care to fabrics, fabric care, etc. So I'm going with superwash. I have enough yarn to then make a pair of booties. That is the Cable Me Softly, and also by tincanknits. They're very small, you won't see them. I've knitted them before one other time. They are a good project for gift giving, I think. Plus booties, even as feet grow, they'll stretch a little bit, so that's also nice. Yeah. My go-to now, it's baby hats, because I can do those without paying much attention, although I think they take longer than than the booties. The booties, as in the name, they have cables. They're very, very short cables by the ankles. The heel is a super easy short row heel. The rest of the bootie is, I think, garter stitch. And then they have an I-cord. They have an I-cord to tie around the ankles so that they don't slip away. And that's it. I'm going to make it again with this yarn, and that's it. And you won't see those because I'm going to give them away as well. Then I'm also going to try to swatch sometime today, as soon as I finish that sweater, with Camellia Fiber Company's Suri lace, which is 74% baby Suri alpaca and the rest is silk. And then the Merino Sport, which is 100% merino. And I bought these last month. At first I did not want to. I wanted to knit a cable sweater in white. I already had some of these, but the issue was that I did not have enough for the sweater I wanted. I also don't have the right weight, but I'll tell you about that in a second. The Dagmar sweater is a zippered sweater. It has a zipper down here, or up here, I guess. And it is by PetiteKnit, no S. And it is a very large sweater. Like, in my mind, it's a sort of sweater that if I were visiting my parents, it's a sweater that my dad would have, that I could wear on top of like my pajama while I'm watching TV, because it's so big and cozy. Now what I have, and this is Irene sweater weight. I have Suri, which will equal fingering more or less, and I have Sport. So it's not exactly Irene, but I'm going to swatch because even for the smaller size, it is so much yarn. It's so much yarn because it's both a cabled sweater, but also because it's like supposed to be boxy and large. So I don't think it will matter much if I decide to have just a little less fabric. And that is why I'm going to swatch, really. Cables are a lot of work, but I mean, I didn't swatch for this sweater. This was a lot of work. I don't think I swatched for the other cabled items I've done, but because I'm playing with sizing here, I am going to do that so that I'm also not disappointed at the end. So I can, in my mind, I can picture what size it's really going to be, and I'll be more or less right. Plus, I mean, in the end, this won't have a lot of stretch. I mean, wool has a lot of stretch, and this is sort of a high twist, but I don't think this will. And once I put this together, but I am excited about it. I'm excited to work on a zippered sweater. I'm excited to have a white cabled sweater. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Eventually, I think later on in the year, I'm going to pick some projects from these magazines that my mom bought for me in Portugal. The magazine is called Mãos de Fada, which means fairy hands. That is in a way a Portuguese expression. We also have another one that's very similar. That is Fada do Lar, fairy of the home. I mean, usually you could see how that could be a term used for women. And that is because we are amazing and we can do so much. We can do all sorts of things from cooking and cleaning, but we can make clothes out of lines. We can make works of art out of string or fabric or paint. We can just do so much. So this one is called Most Fada, Fairy Hands. And all of these are special baby. As in, this is a special that they do throughout the year on only baby items. Some of them are really cute, some of them are not my type of thing. I also have many projects that that are like baby related that I can work on, that I have on my queue on Ravelry, mainly from I want to say Catarina Magalhães, but maybe I'm misremembering. But I have already done one of her projects. Let's see. Go to projects, scroll down. Sandra Magalhães. The versatile baby vest that I've done and then embroidered on top was one of those projects. Yeah, she has lots of good ones in the children's, baby, and I think also adult sizes, and also doll sizes. Yeah, but at some point I'm going to knit some of those. I'm sure that would make my mom very happy. Some of those are actually really cute. Yeah, and that's it. I have nothing else to add. I have talked my voice off, and now I have to take a little break. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode. I will be teaching sometime soon, so that's exciting. Yeah. Well, we'll see. The sweat sweater is gonna take a while, I'm sure. So I'll see you in a month for some progress on that, hopefully. Bye. Happy January. You need a treat? A treat? Oh my goodness.